Every man raised to be responsible is told that effort defines worth. You were taught that if you just love harder, give more, prove your loyalty, she'll stay. Success. But effort without emotional balance doesn't build love, it builds dependency. You start performing for affection instead of connecting from confidence. This illusion is seductive because it feels noble. You chase her approval believing you're fighting for the relationship, but what you're really doing is trading authenticity for attention. You start apologizing even when you're not wrong, explaining every word you say and asking permission just to be at peace. You tell yourself it's love, but it's fear of losing someone who's already halfway out the door. Effort becomes a trap when it stops being mutual. Love is supposed to flow in rhythm, not in sacrifice. But the harder you try, the more she pulls away, not because she's cruel, but because your energy feels desperate. Desperation repels attraction. The truth? Real effort isn't about doing more, it's about doing what's aligned. Stop trying to be the hero in her story and learn to be the author of yours. Once you start chasing harmony, you begin to betray yourself in small, invisible ways. You silence opinions just to avoid arguments. You accept disrespect because you fear confrontation. You convince yourself that keeping peace means keeping love. But peace that costs your self-respect is just quiet chaos. In the cycle of pleasing, you lose your edge. She can sense it, the hesitation in your tone, the uncertainty in your eyes. She begins to feel that you're no longer a partner but a follower. Women don't lose attraction because men are kind. They lose attraction when kindness becomes compliance. The more you bend, the more she tests, not consciously but instinctively. She's looking for the man who can hold his frame, not fold under pressure. When she realizes your peace is just avoidance, she stops feeling safe with you. Breaking this cycle means learning to say no without guilt. It means realizing that disagreement doesn't destroy love, it defines it. If you cannot hold your boundaries, you cannot be trusted to protect her heart. There's a hidden tax to overgiving, and it's called self-erasure. Every time you prioritize her comfort over your truth, you chip away at your authenticity. You lose yourself piece by piece until the reflection in the mirror feels unfamiliar. You think sacrifice earns appreciation, but it breeds entitlement. The more you give without standards, the less she respects what you give. You become the man who tries to earn through exhaustion what can only be maintained through balance. And when she finally leaves, you'll blame yourself for not giving enough instead of realizing you gave too much without clarity. The cost of losing yourself is that you also lose polarity, the natural tension that keeps love alive. Without polarity, attraction dies and affection turns into obligation. You start feeling invisible not because she stopped seeing you, but because you stopped seeing yourself. Recovering from this means reclaiming identity. Rebuild from truth, not guilt. Let your actions come from strength, not fear of rejection. The final stage of this cycle is the emotional trap, the place where you think doing more will fix what's broken. You try to love harder, text faster, explain longer, and beg for closeness. But the more you do, the smaller you feel. You cannot negotiate respect. Every time you over-explain, you surrender your authority. Every time you chase reassurance, you signal insecurity. And every time you try to prove your worth, you teach her that you doubt it. This trap keeps good men stuck because they confuse effort with effectiveness. She doesn't need your endless reassurance, she needs your emotional stability. The moment you stop reacting and start leading yourself with composure, the dynamic shifts. Respect returns not because she gives it, but because you embody it. The emotional trap ends when you stop performing and start existing in truth. When you're at peace with yourself, her validation stops being oxygen, it becomes optional. Every man who's ever lost himself in love eventually faces one truth. Peace comes when you stop chasing. The escape code isn't about ignoring her, it's about remembering you. You don't heal by proving your worth to someone who stopped seeing it. You heal by realizing your worth was never up for debate. To escape the trap, you must reclaim silence. Not the kind that's cold or punishing, but the kind that rebuilds power. When you stop reacting, you stop bleeding energy. The less you explain, the more mysterious your presence becomes. The more centered you are, the more respect you command without words. This stage is where transformation happens. You stop apologizing for boundaries. You stop defending your emotions. You start living with purpose, not performance. You realize she wasn't your lesson, your reactions were. The emotional trap dissolves when you stop trying to control perception and start mastering your peace. The escape isn't walking away, it's walking upright. The same energy you used to chase can rebuild your identity. The same silence that once hurt can now protect your focus. You become the calm in chaos, the man who no longer needs validation to feel valuable. When you reach this stage, love finds you differently. You attract people who recognize your balance, not your desperation. You no longer need to prove you're enough, you simply are. That's freedom, that's power, that's the real escape code.